Okay then, Łukasz, so where are we now?
This is one of those ancient medieval streets where you could buy stuff. In medieval times, on different streets, you can buy only one kind of goods, and usually streets got the names after what used to be sold there. This one is called Jatka. Jatka would be translated into bloodbath.
Okay.
This is also the very old school way in Polish to say about the butcher shop. And yeah, if you look at it all around, you can imagine meat hanging from the hooks here, blood dripping and flowing everywhere.
Oh, I see.
And it's different now. You can't find here any meat.
So when did the last butchers actually close?
The last butcher shop closed around 1939, just before the start of the war. And the street right now is the Street of Artists. City decided to give it to people who work in glass and ceramics. If you look closely, most of things inside will be made of those materials. The city is the only one in Poland, one of 3 in Europe with glass and ceramics department at the Fine Art Academy. So yeah, city's proud of it. They want to help them, and yeah, it's also a nice souvenir to bring back home from Wrocław. If you actually walk around the streets of the city, you will notice that there are some sculptures made of glass, which is not very common material used in like a space around the city.
Certainly. Is there some sort of historical significance to the fact that they kind of using glass?
So Wrocław, through its history, was famous for jewelry. Jewelry and pottery is important for the region. There's a famous pottery factory in Bolesławiec, which is like worldwide popular. You can find it in Japan and in the US. Those are basically white ceramics with blue dots. It's all handmade. And yeah, maybe Wrocław a little bit is continuing the traditions right here. The artists are like working here and having their shops. They have also their small commemoration of what used to be here. They want to leave something like reminding them. And yeah, we got the sculptures of the slaughtered animals right here. It's also quite unique thing. It's a little bit like those singers from Bremen. I don't know if you heard the fairy tale. And yeah, it's right here.
So we got a kind of what material is this made from?
This is made from bronze. There's one that's brought back to life. There's a goat. There's a duck, goose, pigs, rabbit. There's a rooster up there. If you look closely, you will find there's a golden egg just behind the goose, and a bit of droppings just behind the goat.
Oh yeah,
so
I
everything
see.
here. It's very shiny. People touching it for luck. I have no idea what luck they're looking for, but always worth trying, right?
Yeah, indeed. Well, I've seen that in sort of many different cultures where you touch
Yes.
the some sort of bronze or golden animal.
And you can see exactly which part is important.
Wrocław has long been the largest and culturally dominant city in Silesia and is today Lower Silesia's capital. The history of Wrocław starts at a crossroad. It was one of the centers of the Duchy and then Kingdom of Poland, and briefly in the first half of the 13th century, the center of half of the divided Kingdom of Poland. German settlers arrived in increasing numbers after the 1241 Mongol invasion, and Wrocław eventually became part of the Kingdom of Bohemia. After the War of Austrian Succession, the city and region were added to Prussia and later part of the German Empire. After World War II, Wrocław and most of Silesia were transferred to Poland.
Okay then, Łukasz. So, Wrocław University.
Yeah, that's actually the main building of the university. University started its existence in 1702. The Habsburgs, this is the Austrian time of Wrocław. They invited Jesuits, the Catholic order, to open their school here in Wrocław, the college. And Jesuits are famous for education all around the world. Wrocław was a Protestant city, so they had problems with finding a place for their building here in this city. And the only available that was back then in 18th century was after the old city walls. So building is very long, but it's also very narrow. You can walk through it in a few seconds. For them it was not a problem, but it looks now a little bit strange as it's so long. And the most important part of its history is the beginning of 20th century. when it was a state university. The professors or people connected with Wrocław, they won 10 Nobel Prizes. Some people say 11, but there's a discussion if the guy who was born here in 1945 and then moved out when he was like infant is still treated as the
Does he count?
first. Yeah.
Well, nevertheless, 10's pretty impressive.
That's impressive. People like Alzheimer, the guy who first described the Alzheimer disease.
Oh, right.
He was working here at the hospital. He unfortunately died very young. He was like 51, but he was so like a part of the city. Schrödinger, the guy who made the Schrödinger's cat experiment, which is also a big thing in pop culture. I noticed he also was like giving lectures here. And yeah, nowadays we maybe don't have so many scientific breakthroughs, not so many Nobel Prizes, but we got a lot of students.
Yes.
We
Something
had-
I definitely noticed sort of in and around Wrocław, loads of students.
This is a very young city. Students are about 120 up to 140,000 students in this city.
With a what's the total population?
The total population, the official number of citizens would be 640,000. So that's the almost more than 10%, almost 15% of the whole city population.
Huge amount.
So this is also one of the reasons why Wrocław is developing so well. It's a very young city. It's a city which is inviting a lot of investments. People are willing to invest here because they know that well-educated people will be right away there to
So you think a lot of
work.
the students choose to stay in Wrocław?
Many of them do. I think the better work opportunities in Wrocław would be also only in Warsaw. If you want to make like a big career in maybe in TV or in like I don't know, pop culture. Stuff like this. That would be Warsaw. But the rest, there you go. You got Wrocław. You got everything you need here. It's not too big, not too small. Fits most of people's expectations, and culture-wise is also very active. Yeah, when it's young, it's also nicer to do it.